everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in this video I have a cool thing planned for you guys. Yes, we're back on the grading system because it is school time, and the Detroit Lions have went through a quarter of their season, so let's get right into it. So no one likes school, I get it, but in this video, we have to dig into it a little bit, but instead we're going to mix in the Detroit Lions to keep it very interesting. I'm going to be grading the Detroit Lions by position through the first quarter of the year, okay? Now, I know some people are making predictions. They had their predictions for the year, and then they're changing them, like predicting the final 12 remaining games. I can do that if you guys want me to, but I already made my first, real prediction, my 12-4 prediction, so maybe we could just look back on that and see what I have and see how it lays out. Maybe that'd be more interesting. Let me know which one you guys want to see, but either way, in this video, we're going to be grading the Detroit Lions by position throughout the first quarter. Now, these are my opinions. If you guys have different opinions, let me know in the comments below. Everybody knows I'm really positive and optimistic, but I'm going to try to be harsh on these, try to be, not really high on every single thing that happened. But we're going to start off with the quarterback position, and this is where Matthew Stafford has been our only quarterback that we've seen. Knock on wood, that's amazing. Matthew Stafford has been outstanding. I had to give him an A. I mean, there was no other letter grade I could give this guy. 102.6 quarterback rating, which would actually be his best for a season in his career, okay? He's never had that high of a quarterback rating in a season, okay? So, through the first 4 games, he's doing a lot of good things. 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 1,122 passing yards. He has been awesome, okay? So there's no reason I could not give him an A. Maybe A minus. I don't know why you would want to do that. I don't know. I have to give him an A. He's done everything we've really asked for him to do, okay? If you look at our loss to Kansas City Chiefs, there wasn't much more he could do in that game, right? He even got us down the field for a Hail Mary shot by putting a dot across the middle, okay? There wasn't much more we'd asked for him in that game. And if you look at the Cardinals game, I mean, he did get us down the field, and he threw it to Galladay, which would have been a touchdown if he would have held on to it, but it was a good play by the defense. Still set up a tying field goal. So, really, when we've needed him most, there hasn't been much else I could have asked for him. I have to give him an A. Next up, the running back position. Now, this one's kind of hard, right? Because you want to simply look at the running back numbers and be like, okay, they're averaging 3.9 yards per carry. That's not very good, so maybe that's like a C. But I don't want to do that yet because I know they've been doing something else really, really good, and that is catching the ball, okay, and blocking. 2 of those things they've had to take big roles in this year, okay? Blocking has been huge for the running backs because we've needed it, and they've all been able to do it. But catching the ball in the backfield has also been very important. And now we knew Kerryon Johnson could do it. We thought Ty Johnson could do it. And then we bring in J.D. McKissick, who I wasn't really expecting to do anything, and he has completely surprised me, okay? He has just blown out my expectations. J.D. McKissick has been amazing, whether it's running the ball or catching the ball, and he really helps the grade here for the running backs. I'm going to give them an A. I was thinking B. I'm thinking B because, they've only had 3.9 yards per carry. So I'm going to give them a B because of that. But other than that, they play really well. Now, the fumble that Kerryon Johnson lost, I know you could say, okay, maybe that's a B minus. So if you want to make it a B minus because it's fumbled by Kerryon Johnson at the 1, you can. I thought that play was pretty glitchy anyways. Like, that's some wacky stuff that happened there. So I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. If you want to, that's fine. I'm going to give them a B. Next up, the wide receiver position, and this one, again, is really hard, but the Lions have been doing a lot of good things at the wide receiver position, breaking records, and not only is it the guys that we know about, right? Everybody knows Marvin Jones, everybody knows Kenny G. A lot of people know Amendola, but it's not just those guys that are playing well. No, it's the other guys. It's the Marvin Halls that we brought in. The first week he plays well. We lost Jermaine Kearse before the season even started, and now he's on IR, but we've had guys step up and play really, really well, okay? So it's not just the guys that everybody knows about. Danny Amendola goes out, we bring up Tom Kennedy and Marvin Hall. Marvin Hall is a really nice game. Now, Kennedy was quiet, but I don't think we really even targeted him. Otherwise, our wide receivers have been really, really good. I think Galladay kind of got robbed of a touchdown there versus the Chiefs. I mean, yes, you can be better, but they've been really good. I mean, it's hard for me not to give them an A, and that's not me trying to be overly optimistic. I just haven't seen a lot of bad from our wide receivers. Not anything that was like a simple drop the pass. So I'm going to give them an A. Maybe an A minus. I don't know. Tight end position next up. Now, this one is hard because I think it's been really good for the most part, but I mean, we've had a few dips. They blocked really well, which has been huge. Okay, that's something that we've needed, and we got it. Jesse James and Hockenson have both blocked really well. And a surprise out of this group is Logan Thomas, who we heard was playing pretty well, but he's been great during the season. He's been great. He stepped up to the plate. So he's definitely surprised, definitely helps out this positional group. TJ Hockenson, unfortunately, he's hurt, so I don't know when he's going to come back. If you take away the injury, he played pretty darn well. Okay, now he did have a few drops. He had a few touchdown drops. I'll give him that. So maybe I'll give him a B. Now, he is a rookie. Let's keep that in mind. I told you I'm going to try to be harsh on this, though. I'm going to try to go down with it, right? I'm trying to be 100% legit. Or I'm not trying to give them any extra points. So I can say B there. I mean, overall, they've been really good. They've been able to block out tight end position. They've caught a lot of passes. They've been better than any tight ends I've seen, at least as a group that the Lions have ever had. I'm going to go B, maybe B+. You could go higher if you guys wanted to. I want to hear your thoughts on that one because that's an interesting position group. And again, if you discard the TJ Hockenson injury, if you want to say, okay, well, now he's injured, so now we only have Jesse James and Logan Thomas. Well, then, yeah, the grade could definitely be different. Next up, we have the offensive line. And the offensive line is really hard as well because the offensive line against the run, I don't think it's been that, well, not against the run, but when we are rushing, I don't think it's been that great, okay? It's been okay. We haven't opened a lot of holes. Really, since the last game versus Kansas City, we didn't have much on the ground. And I think it really does start with the offensive line. Now, obviously, they're stacking the box sometimes, but I think it does start with the offensive line. So I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to give them a C- for that. But I have to give them a higher grade for blocking for the pass. This group has completely exceeded every single one of my expectations. We have a rotational guard, okay? We don't have a solidified guard at the left guard position, and they have been great, okay? They were making history, not giving up sacks. Understand the offense was getting the ball quickly, and we were helping them out. But for the expectations that I had, it's been pretty good. Now, we definitely have had some dips. I think versus the Chiefs, we definitely dipped down a little bit, okay? And that's why my grade is a B- overall, okay? I'm not giving them an A. I'm going to give them a B-. But expectations, I think it's been really good. I mean, what we've seen in the preseason from some of our depth, it was like, this is going to be a really, really long year. And then the season started, and it wasn't. So, I mean, I have to give them an A for expectations, but overall, I'm going to give them a B- grade. Next up, defensive line. I know y'all want to go off here, okay? And I try not to, but I guess I can, okay? We're going to look at what I expected from this defensive line. I'm going to give them a D. The expectations, they have not lived up to those yet. Now, yes, have they have injuries? Yes. Do they have Hand? No, they don't have Hand. Do they have Mike Daniels recently? No, they don't have Mike Daniels. Okay, do they have Austin Bryant? No, they don't have Austin Bryant. So those are three players that coming into the year during the offseason, I thought they were all going to play, right? I didn't know Austin Bryant was going to be out this long. I didn't know that Deshaun Hand wouldn't play at all yet. I didn't know that Mike Daniels would get hurt, but that happens. It's football. But what we do have is we have a guy named Kennard. We have Okwara. We have Trey Flowers. We have Ashawn Robinson. We have Snacks Harrison. Snacks got off to a little bit of a slow start. But overall, I think they've been okay. I think the reason that they look a lot worse than they are is because their expectations were so high. So hopefully once they get healthy, I'm thinking out of this bye week, they're going to go off on Aaron Rodgers. I just see Rodgers getting sacked like 3 times in that game. I really do. And I think that'll be very, very helpful. So otherwise, I mean, they haven't got a lot of pressure, but they have made some nice plays. We can't deny that fact. Ashawn Robinson, those guys have been knocking the ball down the line continuously. Okay, that's been their calling card, and it's huge. It's really huge to knock the ball down the line. We've seen Trey Flowers get some strip sacks. That's been huge. He's been really running all over the field. He actually led the team in tackles one game. The only reason you would have Trey Flowers as a bad grade here is because their expectations were higher and you paid him a lot, right? So I'm not going to give them a good grade. I'm actually going to give their defensive line a C, maybe C- here. They do have some injuries. Kennard has been great. That's kind of expected out of Devon Kennard, right? He's just great. I think he's maybe our most reliable, consistent pass rusher, if I'm being 100% honest. I'll give him a C. You could say C-. Let me hear your thoughts on that one, because that's interesting, okay? I know there's going to be a lot of Fs in the comments. I already know what's going to happen. Next up, we have the linebacker position, and I'm also going to give them a C here as well. Now, against the pass, they have not been good. And I'm giving them a D against the pass. But against the rush, I don't think they've been that bad. Okay, I'm going to give them a B. I don't think it's been terrible. I think it all starts with the defensive line, and I don't think our linebackers have been terrible at making plays. I mean, if you want to look at Pro Football Focus, I guess you can see stuff. I don't think we've been bad. I think we've spied pretty well when it was called upon, okay? Depending on whether or not you call a spy. If you don't call a spy, you can't be like, oh, it's linebacker's fault, we weren't spying. Well, if that's not the play, then that's not going to happen. But when we did, it seemed like it's been going pretty well, and they've been really following their duties, I guess I should say, really well. But against the pass, they've struggled, okay? I mean, let's not give up on Jared Davis. He's only played 2 weeks this season. He's very young. Hopefully he can get that going. He's struggled, though. Overall, we've really struggled in pass coverage, but it's never been easy for linebackers to cover pass. I mean, how many linebackers struggle covering the pass? A lot of them do. It's tough because, one, there's always mismatches, right? You put man, which Matt Patricia loves to do. He loves to play man. You put him on a running back, it's tough. We saw it last year when Elliott had that nice catch from Prescott, which put them in field goal range to beat us. You see it time and time again that linebackers are usually in a mismatch against running backs. They're definitely a mismatch against wide receivers, and a lot of times against tight ends. So it's tough. I'm going to give them a C. I'm kind of being generous, maybe. Next up, we have the cornerback position. I have to give these guys an A. I mean, there is nothing lower than I can give them than an A. The only argument, the only bad thing that I've seen since from the secondary is when Slade was going against Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen was having a really big day. But let's not forget that Keenan Allen is a slot. And even though sometimes he moved around, Slade definitely was not playing really well against him. But when it mattered most, he did come up with the game-sealing interception. But other than that, I don't really know how bad any other times that we've necessarily been bad in the cornerback unit. Justin Coleman has been phenomenal. The best corner by Pro Football Focus. If you like Pro Football Focus, then you can't hate on my guy Justin Coleman. The #1 ranked. Rashawn Melvin. He has been an absolute beast. I said during the offseason, it was my favorite free agent signing. He's been outstanding, okay? He has stepped up to the plate. Michael Ford, when we've called upon him, been great. Haven't even seen him on it yet. So what I see from this cornerback unit is they definitely exceeded really my expectations, especially without Slade. I mean, you're going to that Chiefs game. I don't care if they're without Tyreek Hill. Okay, that's one wide receiver. You're going into that game. You're without Darius Slade. I'm thinking this could be terrible. But no, I mean, these guys were playing man. They were mano y mano, just like people say. I think that's Spanish. I think it's Spanish. I don't know. I kind of know some Spanish. Mano y mano. Mano and mano. You and I know E is and. I don't know. Let's move on. Either way, the cornerbacks have been great. I can't give them any lower grade than an A, okay? If you want to, you can. Next up, safeties. I'm going to give them a B. Now, safeties have been pretty good. I mean, overall, they've been pretty good, but injuries definitely hurt. Quandre Diggs going out last game stinks. But Tavon Wilson, he's been outstanding. I mean, I can't say anything else. He's been outstanding when we've called upon him. Tracy Walker, he's been pretty good, okay? Now, one-on-one with a wide receiver or a slot or whatever it may be, Tracy Walker can struggle, which doesn't surprise me, right? He's a safety. That's not really his thing. His thing is not really man up on a wide receiver and try to cover him. That's not what he's good at, and we've seen it time and time here and there. He gets beat. But overall, playing that natural safety position, what we've needed him and what we've asked him to do as a young player to really step into this role as a later round pick, he's been great. I mean, he has been great. So I'm going to give them a B because they could always be better, but I think it's been pretty good. And then finally, special teams. Now, special teams is hard because we've seen them good and we've seen them extremely bad, right? We've seen a big mix of both. Hasn't really been consistent. Okay, Matt Prater. He's coming into his own. Matt Prater has been fantastic the last couple of weeks. The blocked field goal, that was tough, okay? That was tough against the Philadelphia Eagles. That honestly could have cost us the game. I'm glad it didn't. I guess you give special teams a little bit of credit for tackling him, I guess. I don't know. Jamal Agnew, he was terrible, got benched, comes back, and has a kickoff return for a touchdown. So you can see, I mean, that would have been F, then he has a kickoff return. Okay, C. You know what I mean? It's hard because they've been inconsistent, but they've made a lot of good plays. Martin's been kind of inconsistent as well. He's had good punts, he's had bad punts, he's had blocked punts. It's hard. So I'm honestly going to give them a C+, and the reason I give them that plus is because of that kickoff return by Agnew, okay? If it wasn't for a touchdown, they would have had a C. I'm going to give them a C+, just to be nice. Anyways, those are my letter grades. If you guys have grades, let me hear them in the comments below. Thank you, Brett, for watching, and I'm out.